Tyranitar has always been a badass Pokemon. A rock dark type with a million weaknesses that just does not care because of his insane stats. When Tyranitar finally made it to Pokemon Pocket, I was a bit disappointed. We got a card that was completely tied to Arceus, and that just didn't sit right. This Pokemon is clearly a narcissist, and yet they made him out to be some kind of Arceus sidekick. The new Tyranitar though, now we're talking. With 160 HP, Buster Tail deals 130 damage for 4 energy. Seems kind of bad at first, until you read his ability. Energy Plunder allows you to move all your darkness energy on board to Tyranitar. As of now, I see 2 ways to build around this. You can combine Tyranitar with the Ultra Beast, due to Lusamine allowing you to recycle your dark type energy, or you can combine him with Darkrai, who makes for an exceptional teammate. Why? You can focus on building up energy onto Darkrai while you trigger his Nightmare Aura. Once you're ready to place your 4th energy onto him, you send Tyranitar to the front line, activate Energy Plunder, and rally over all that energy placed onto Darkrai throughout the game, all over to our heavyweight. It's not just the fact that you can build up Darkrai and then unleash a far stronger attack with the same energy. Because you can activate Energy Plunder once every turn, you can place your 4th energy onto Darkrai to deal 20 damage, and in that same instance, pass it over to T-Tar to enable your attack. This means you're dealing 150 damage each turn with Tyranitar, which is enough to KO the majority of Pokemon in the game. Today's deck takes the classic Druddigon Darkrai core and brings in Tyranitar, who fits in perfectly. We send Druddigon to the front to buy us time. We then build up energy onto Darkrai to wear down our opponent's lead through Nightmare Aura and Rough Skin Pings. When it's time to place our 4th energy, we send Tyranitar in and begin to sweep. If we fall short, it's fine. We've lost 2 non-EX Pokemon, meaning our opponents still need 1 more point in order to win. And that's where Darkrai comes in for the finish. This new card represents Tyranitar extremely well and provides Darkness decks with a heavy endgame sweeper that only gives your opponents 1 point. What Pokemon should up to the ground next? You decide. Leave a comment down below and we'll see what we can do. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It's free. Free is good. Have a solid day. Enjoy the games. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Here we go. Let's play some T-Tar. The cool version. As we got Druddigon, double Druddigon lead, which is actually really neat. Protects us against early game Sabrina. And we're facing Darkness with Nihilego and maybe Crobat. Oh, we got them all. Ladies and gentlemen, we got them all. And double Druddigon feels so neat. We even get to thin the deck even further. But make no mistake, double Druddigon to play around Sabrina. And then Larvitar and the cool Darkrai going down. With Rare Candy in hand already. Mom Spaghetti, we're good to go. This is the ideal opener. Tyranitar is actually like one of my favorite, if not my favorite Pokemon from Generation 2. Woo! And just like, I'm not even gonna hide it, I'm just gonna drop it. So no Mars can deny us the fun. As now we just do Darkrai, Druddigon things. It's just a really cool. I think it's an amazing Pokemon because early on rock types were not really that great. You know, I mean, they weren't really bad in Generation 1 and stuff, but as time passed, like, they just had a lot of weaknesses, right? Like, the rock type has a lot of weaknesses. And T-Tar just makes up for a typing combination that has a tremendous amount of weaknesses by having just amazing stats. And I'm a big fan of that. I can Pokemon Center Lady here to buy more time. And I like that. I like that quite a bit. As we can ping the Nihilego. Wait, they're playing Tyranitar too. I was so into my monologue here that I just didn't realize. But they're playing Tyranitar with Nihilego. That's kind of weird. It's kind of strange. I'm not sure what's the purpose of that combination. I mean, they probably have Darkrai, but I think it's a lot better to run something like Druddigon to be able to focus your energy placement on Darkrai itself. Oh, but they're playing T-Tar with the Ultra Beast. Oh, that makes sense. That's another approach. It's a pretty exciting one, actually, because now you're able to pivot these guys for free, and you can transfer the energy to T-Tar as well. And they bring Celesteela. If I can top Cyrus, I may as well just, like, use it here just to get rid of their energy before they transfer it over to Tyranitar. They probably should do that now. That's what they should focus on now, I think. This is the turn to go for the energy plunder. The energy plunder, yeah. You got to take that energy from this unit that's like vulnerable. Keeping it on that Nihilego is a mistake, because if the moment I draw Cyrus, yeah, exactly. They're forced to do that, really. As we find another rare candy, but right now we're just chilling. We're just chilling, minding our business, building up Darkrai. That's the big difference here. We have a way, like, if they don't want to punch through, that's what Druddigon does here. That's why it's always blended so well with Darkrai. Even though it was dropped for Darkrai Giratina, it never stopped being good with Darkrai. The combination of Rough Skin and Nightmare Aura just racks up a lot of damage, forces decks to just be aggressive, and if they have no reliable way to interact with the bench, that's also one of the reasons why it's kind of like falling off, because there are a lot of decks that can interact well with the bench, right? I'm gonna go ahead and plunder. Plunder now. And proceed to continue to ping. And now Leaf would be everything. We have 2 Leafs in the deck. Top decking 1 now would be amazing! That's how you do it. And our T-Tar is safe from their T-Tar. So if we bring... Okay, so let's say we bring in this T-Tar here. Let's say we bring in this T-Tar here. And we hit this. They bring their own. They hit us for 130. We ping it and we... it's a little bit awkward. What if I just, like, hide behind this again? What if I just hide behind the other Druddigon now? Regardless, at this stage, I'm going to go for the Energy Plunder before I place my energy so that my, you know, now I can just focus on building up the Darkrai. I think I just hide behind this Druddigon because I don't want their T-Tar to hit mine before I hit theirs. And if they find a way to knock out my Druddigon, if they, like, Cyrus it, then so be it. They still have to attack it. So we keep just, like, why not just keep trying to navigate around their offense, build up the Darkrai, keep racking up the damage, make use of our Rough Skin. Because now if they want to engage, like, that Nihilego is at range all of a sudden. That Nihilego is completely at range. We get to score a kill on it without having to let our T-Tar take a hit. As they Sabrina, and that just means we can bring in this Druddigon. Because then that means that I'll be able to get 2 kills with my Darkrai, because I want this Druddigon to go down. If they wish to attack with Nihilego, then they get the Rough Skin damage, and my Nightmare Aura ping will be able to clear it, and then I'll be able to kill 2 burns with 1 stone, 1 very big stone, and build up my Darkrai for the finish. So we bring you in. I actually like that Rocky Helmet. There's no way this T-Tar can kill me. So if I apply a Rocky Helmet onto it, then I can actually kill the T-Tar in response. As we hit them with the Buster Tail. And all we need is a Larvitar here, as they red card us. But that gives us a chance to draw into Cyrus. And if we draw into Cyrus, the game is over, right? Like, 'cause we can target that. The thing is, like, them attacking with the Tyranitar here is is a problem for them, because if they do that, interesting. I don't understand that Lusamine play though, because now they have to manually place the energy on T-Tar. If they go for the energy plunder before that, they can build up the Darkrai instead and get more damage. What in the that is that Omega of lols, the one true lol. I would be, yeah, I would expect I could see there. Like, what was that? Yeah. Yeah, see, now what I don't like is combining Ultra Beast with Tyranitar and Darkrai, because that means you're running a billion Pokemon. You have to run a bunch of different Pokemon, which makes your ability to evolve Tyranitar more unlikely, and also leaves you with significantly less space to run good supporter cards. So I don't really... I do believe Tyranitar can combine with Ultra Beast because of Lyra. I think Lyra allows the Ultra Beast shell to all of a sudden combine with a bunch of other things, because Lyra in that deck is a better Ilema, because it's more universal. Like, it can be used, you know, with Celesteela or with stuff like Guzzlord to swap your Pokemon around more effortlessly. And I think Tyranitar can really blend into that show as well. There's more than one way to build a deck around this card. But combining both Ultra Beast and Darkrai, that's just asking for trouble. That's just like so many deck locks. And we just basically took our time, made good use of Druddigon, you know, the pressure of Druddigon and Darkrai, applied that, and then unleashed Tyranitar when we were ready. And they just kind of, yeah, that was kind of just like a YOLO, like, I don't know what to do, so I'm going to YOLO this moment. Good stuff. Round two. Round two. Don't mind if I do. Psychic. We got a Larvitar lead, okay, with the rare candy. And we're okay, interesting. Hopefully this Pokeball leads to Darkrai. I mean, we have the T-Tar there. Come on, you got this. Come on, Darkrai to me. Okay, so no Darkrai, and this means I am just gonna leave. To correct my opener, even though we kind of become a bit vulnerable to a Sabrina. But we want to hide behind Druddigon. Until we find the second Druddigon, we are vulnerable to Sabrina. That's just, it is what it is. But the good thing is my Larvitar doesn't require that much of a retreat cost, so if they want to do that, then fine, but we'll just have to retreat again. And now we're not as vulnerable. The problem is they've already played their Sabrina, but we can do this, bring in the other guy here, and drop the Giant Cape on you. Just in case. As we continue to build this up anyways. If they have Sabrina into Cyrus, that is just not meant to be. Like, we did what we could to correct our opener, but we just did not find the Druddigon early enough. Building up, trying to go for the Gengar. Let's go for the Professor's Research before we're not allowed to anymore. Let's see if we can find Darkrai. Finding Darkrai would be everything. That's a great chance to get Darkrai. That's a 66% chance to get Darkrai. Yes. All right. We're gonna do this. If they have Gengar into Cyrus, then we are in trouble. So I don't wanna use my rare candy yet because I would not be able to retaliate anyways. I need one more turn to be able to do so. So if this is the turn that we get Cyrus into a Gengar, then I'd rather keep my rare candy T-Tar for the other Larvitar. But that seems to not be the case here, as they actually develop a Ghastly in the back and place energy onto it. So no Gengar EX attacking this turn. So that means that next turn I will actually evolve into Tyranitar. In fact, I should probably, at this point, so that I'm not vulnerable to a Cyrus, I'm gonna go for the Pokemon Center Lady. Now Cyrus cannot reach us anymore. That's really important. We place the energy onto Darkrai, and we immediately, in case they want to like Mars or red card us, we rare candy into your boy. And we keep our options open because we're not vulnerable to a second Sabrina here. Double Druddigon protects against that. So we just sit back, relax, build up our attackers. And now we're ready for Giratina, Gengar, all of them. We have a big T-Tar that will not succumb to any one hit. Pokemon Center Lady, all right. To be expected. They place the energy on Giratina, so I assume they're passing here. We're going to continue racking up the damage, though. And we have Leaf. We could just jump in and hit them immediately. And I'm inclined to believe that's the way to go about things because it just is. Like, just getting rid of this immediately. Let's do it. What I'm worried about here is a Hypno Blast Gengar instead of like a Gengar EX. That's my concern. A Gengar that puts me to sleep. A Gengar that puts me to sleep and succeeds. Are you serious? Yeah, get out of here with that nonsense. Oh, that would have been so tilting. Oh, they just... Why do they do that, though? Like, you can attack with that XR. You need the extra damage. Now I know for a fact that you can't kill me. Now I know for a fact that no matter what, you cannot take me down. I mean, it would have to be like a Giovanni specifically, because red doesn't work, right? But Guzma doesn't do it. Nothing does it. There's no way to add 30 damage to your attack here. And I one-hit KO you because that's a good reason to play T-Tar. You one-shot Giratina EX. There's the Guzma. But we're too thick. We're too damn thick, boy. The bulk! The power! Outta here. I guess we'll never know what Gengar they were playing. But I'm gonna go ahead and assume that it was Gengar EX. Though this line of play would have been punished by Hypno Blast Gengar. Putting our Tyranitar to sleep. Perhaps, honestly, the best way to approach things would have been to just keep steady, especially because we had two Druddigons. So I think I kind of got impatient there. But in hindsight, we just... like, we actually just sit behind the Druddigon and we allow them to attack us and we keep dealing damage. Like, we force them to go into the offense because nothing within their lineup, unless they showcase like a top Bulele out of nowhere, which is something to be concerned about, right? Like, that's always a possibility. But if they don't run that, then we just stay behind all the time and we just keep dealing damage and we force them to come in, and then we bring in Tyranitar to just immediately knock something out at full HP. And I like the Pokemon Center Lady there to prevent us from getting Cyrused, correcting our opener and things starting off roughly at the beginning. And yeah, I'm just yapping. Let's go for another one. Round 3. Going second again. Don't mind if I do. Ooh, I love that Druddigon lead. I am going to follow it up with the Larvitar, though. Even though it does leave us open to a turn 1 Sabrina. I just don't want to be vulnerable to a Mars here. As they lead off with Ho-Oh. but they're going first and they can't really ramp into it. At least not this way. So that's a good opener for us. Salazo. Ooh, okay. The plot thickens. I really want to find other basics, like a second Dredagon to protect against Sabrina and Darkrai. So I'm going to go for the Professor's Research first. Which, you know, didn't lead to anything because we still didn't draw a single basic. But we tried and we still get Darkrai, which is nice. As we go and do what we always do. Nightmare Aura pings. Again, finding a second Dredagon would keep my mind at ease. Because otherwise a Sabrina could do a lot. We don't really have to worry about a Sabrina right now. I could drop this second Larvitar. And I will, just to protect against that Sabrina play, even if we don't get the rough skin damage, it just protects against it. Why do you want to do that now, though? Why now? You can't attack me. So I may as well just bring you in. And Dark Prism. All I need is a rare candy, and I just go crazy. I go crazy with a pivot into just passing over all the energy. Yeah, that Sabrina was very weird. Like, playing Sabrina when you can't follow up with an attack is just very strange. So they're gonna build up the Salazo and or that one. This is a weird deck. This is a weird deck, ladies and gentlemen. Aren't you just like dead? I'm trying to figure things out here. Aren't you just like, oh, mega dead? Especially, like, I could just finish you off with a Larvitar if this guy goes down. What's going on here? What is this tactic? Can somebody explain to me this? Like, this guy needs 2 specific sources of fire. What is... This is the craziest thing I ever... I would just ping... My head hurts. Back to going first. Against fighting. Well, we got Dredagon, and we have a Darkness deck, but none of our Pokemon are actually weak to fighting. But we love seeing that Dredagon lead, and more than that, we love seeing Pokeball and Professor's Research alongside another basic. Like, that's really, really neat. Seeing Riolu means it's less likely that Hitmonlee is a thing. I want to find more basics, because I already have Leaf in that. So I'm going to go for Professor's Research before I go for the Pokeball. This enhances my chances of finding Larvitar here. There we go. And we go ahead and play both. Keeping the Darkrai in hand, because we would like to place a second Dredagon there to protect against Sabrina. Turn 1 Sabrina can always be annoying, but we have Leaf into Pokemon Center Lady to counter a potential Cyrus setup. As okay, this is a throwback to yesterday's video. If you want to see my Donphan Lucario video, check that one out. So you can see the deck, leave a like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Jab me, I dare you. Ah, you coward. You absolute coward. I love seeing that second Dredagon. Now we are completely safe against Sabrina, and we can start doing Darkrai things. Except it's edgy now, which feels great. Big Elephant coming in, and we're gonna wear it down. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna wear it down. Okay, never mind. 70. Yeah, now we can't Pokemon Center Lady to like stop this from 2 KO with my Druddigon, but we can rack a lot of damage onto it. And not being vulnerable to Sabrina is everything here. My boy tanks. No problem. All I need is T-Tar. All I need is T-Tar, and we're good to go. Now, if they just... Their energy placement here is really important, right? Because if... Okay, that changes things. I may be inclined to bring in another Druddigon here. Yeah. Because now it's going to be 110. We can't bring in Darkrai. We can't bring in Larvitar. There's no other play. We have Leaf to correct anyways. And we can't, like... Yep, there's no other approach here. We have to bring in Druddigon, and we have to hope for Tyranitar to come in. There we go. Now we're talking. We dropped the second Larvitar to protect against the Sabrina. Like, we want to make sure we're not vulnerable to that. We're going to pin you again. And keep Leaf for an attempt that they could go for with like a Sabrina, right? We don't want to be locked in here. Double Druddigon coming into play here. There's a Sabrina. And because they play Sabrina there, we, what do we do? How do I reach these kids? We just quite simply give them Larvitar here. They should be placing energy onto Lucario or just conceding. Because we're so bulky, we got a Tyranitar to send in. That's just gonna one-hit KO everything. Like, not even with a giant cape, does Lucario put itself outside of range. And they gotta build up another Donphan all over again. I don't know why I run into so many of these Donphan decks running Tyrogue. I think that's an awful addition because... if it goes down early, then your Donphan just becomes your last bastion, right? Like that's all your opponent has to defeat in order to beat you. So it's just, I don't see it, but it's like extremely common. Like most of the Donphan decks that I run into run Tyrogue for some reason, and I'm not sure why. But if you want to see like a proper Donphan deck, check out my video from yesterday. Shameless plug, it's my channel. I do what I want. Let's go for another one. What do we got now? First again. Against the grass. Now that is a problem. We have a Larvitar lead, which is not ideal by any means. Especially going first. The issue is we're going first, but we're running into an Eevee, so they're not going to be able to immediately attack us. If that was like a Kartana, then we would be in tremendous trouble. We got Rare Candy already. And we kind of drew into a double. Just don't, I mean... Mars will still suck here. There's no Druddigon to hide behind. Beedrill. Beedrill with Eevee. Leafeon B. Why Leafeon Beedrill? Unless I'm just assuming that it's Leafeon. Yeah, the problem here is it just doesn't matter if we put a giant cape or not, because Leafeon hits us super effectively, so we can't really do much about it. So we have to hope that they don't have a Leafeon to kill us here. We are definitely in trouble. And our trouble stems from our inability to... Okay, well that is a problem that's more manageable. So Beedrill with Sylveon. That makes more sense. Is that regular Beedrill? Incoming? No, it's Beedrill EX. Okay. Okay, well... Dredagon. Dredagon, please. Dredagon-sama, we need you. We need you now. I will go for it. Dredagon. I mean, 2 out of 3 times is Dredagon. There we go. Yeah, no, it's definitely worth it to... Even if we do slow down a little bit. It is worth it to pivot. We can always Cyrus this and one-shot it with Tyranitar. The problem is dealing with Beedrill. That's gonna be really tricky. Without a doubt, that's gonna be really tricky. I regret not playing Guzma here. Okay. Why not go for a Rocky Helmet here? Though we could apply the Rocky Helmet later. We can heal up to 50, but that doesn't put it outside of range. Rocky Helmet brings this down to 140. 140. Cyrus cannot slow down their offense. Not in a way that we seriously benefit from here. We've already played... We have another Pokeball and Dredagon left in the deck. Being able to pivot into another one and give it a Rocky Helmet could go a long way. I don't really want to waste my Rocky Helmet here because of that. We gotta, no matter what, we gotta ping you. And then we're probably gonna have to resort to Leaf. We are in massive trouble no matter how I look at it. If I equip this, 120, like it doesn't really matter. Like we need to stall out a turn anyways. So if we don't manage to top deck... If we do not manage to top deck into another Dredagon, we are quite simply dead. And it's more likely that we draw into something like Tyranitar, for example, but because we retreated manually earlier, we're still going to need a turn to be able to trigger it. They go for an Erica, okay. And they just attack us again. We cannot send Darkrai in yet. There's just no way around that. The game plan is simple. We need to put this at range for a Tyranitar to take it down. But in order to do that, like, we really need to find a Dredagon here. No, okay. Well, we still... Okay, so let's say we do this. Drop you down to 160. We need to put a Rocky Helmet on you. And we need to make it less obvious that we're going to be sending in this guy to finish. We need to bait them to kill this without going for a Sabrina. It's the only way. Except they just find another Erica. This is rough. Is there a way we can go for this? Darkrai ping that, like that second Erica was brutal. Because we can transfer the energy plunder here, like we can do this, right? But there's nothing preventing them from pivoting into the other one. I need there to be a world where they actually don't pivot this Beedrill for whatever reason. And it's just not happening. Like, I tried with what I had, but I needed double Druddigon. Like, the other Druddigon eluded me this entire game. Unfortunately. I mean, there it is. We technically can get out of range from this. Like, we can Pokemon Center Lady into a giant cape to barely put ourselves outside of range and hit this. And then somehow try to navigate around. I mean, this is copium, but I'm not gonna give up. I'm gonna fight to the end. It's foolish, but we're doing it. I can't believe, like, my Druddigon is still in my deck. My second Druddigon, which I so desperately needed. What did they just do? No way. Oh my god, no way. Oh my god, the throw. Oh, I was, guys, this was a loss. Oh my god. Oh, energy plunder to counter the Beedrill. Easy. That's why you never give up. It's not just about hope in your draws and plays. It's about keeping the faith in your opponent's misplays. What? I just, like, for a moment I thought I was just like mentally spazzing because I got like, wait, what happened? Why can't I? Because I was thinking of ways, like, of reasons as to why I couldn't kill them, right? Because I assumed that they. I like, my brain just like short circuited for a second. Okay. I wonder what their last cards were. Definitely not a good matchup for us. And, I mean, it's a lot more bearable if we find double Druddigon because Beedrill cannot one-shot Druddigon. So that actually, we can absorb 4 hits from Beedrill. 4 hits from Beedrill before we give them 2 points. And that is everything in a matchup like that. But the fact that we couldn't find our second Druddigon, I was just kind of like sealing our fate. But I don't even. I was gonna go for a salty run back. Not needed. I'm gonna end it here. This Pokemon's really fun. Really fun. The energy plunder. We got to showcase like more out of this ability than you normally see because we faced a Pokemon that actually strips us from energy. So the fact that we're able to continuously enable the Darkrai Ping while still be able to go for the Buster Tail is really nice. I like this Tyranitar a lot more than the Arceus one. The Arceus one was just kind of boring because it's just like tied to Arceus and it's just like, okay, it's just another one of the fighting types that that has 4 energy to deal like 150 or 160 damage, and they balance them all kind of like nearly the same. And it just felt like less of a unique card overall. This one is something else entirely. The Darkrai combination, like I said, is very it's very good. It's something straightforward to go into, and it works. But I also recommend exploring combinations with the Ultra Beast, with a Celesteela Guzzlord core, because now with Lyra as a new supporter, you're able to pivot between the Ultra Beast and non-Ultra Beast Pokemon a lot easier than before. And with cards like Lusamine, you can effectively ramp into Tyranitar, though ramp because you still have to invest energy, but you can enable an attacker like Nihilego, have it go down, and then go for Lusamine and surprise enable Tyranitar out of nowhere, stuff like that, right? So that is also a direction to take. And as the card pool expands and maybe eventually we find or we get ways to actually ramp Darkness Energy, then this Pokemon is only going to get better. So really cool design, just really, really cool card overall, and really a testament to this expansion because there's just a lot of really cool cards. You know, I'm not saying they're meta breaking cards. I'm not asking for broken cards. I'm just asking for cards that are a little bit more interesting than just like 100 HP, 1 energy, deal 40 damage. You know, like we had a lot of vanilla shit within the last 2 expansions and a lot of very unexciting stuff, including Silvally, which I think was ultimately a design mistake. But this expansion brought a lot of really fun stuff like Gyarados, Tyranitar, Magcargo, the babies, you know, like there's just a lot of stuff to experiment with, and I'm overall really happy with it. Holy yap session. Love you, have a soul day. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.